Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Suresh Bhagwati, evangelist for ManageEngine IT Operations Suite. Before I ended up in this role, I was working as a support engineer with the IT operations technical team and helped customers and prospects around the globe to make best use of IT operations products in their organization. And I'm with ManageEngine for the past 13 years, and that is about me. So before we move into the agenda, I'm really excited and happy to welcome you all for this IT operations and STP integration seminar. I know a couple of you might be using our other manage engine products. So maybe you might be using a bandwidth analysis software, or you might be using applications monitoring software. You might be using only Op Manager, and some of you might be using Service Desk Plus, and as well as one of these IT operations products. So in today's session, I'm going to give you a brief introduction about the products that are available in IT operations section, and how you can make use of this integration, how it can be beneficial to you by integrating your IT operations products with Service Desk Plus. And in today's session, we're going to cover only the integration part with IT operations products Op Manager with Service Desk Plus integration. And you're going to see what are the top three benefits that you're going to get out of integrating your network monitoring and help desk software. And I'm also going to introduce you to some of the features, some of the new features available that is relevant to this integration. And then we are going to talk about what are the things, what are the features and enhancements that are coming in related to the integration with Service Desk Plus and Op Manager, and what are the benefits. So you're also going to learn how to integrate and what are the benefits that you're going to get, and then you're also going to see what is coming in the future. So in future, what are the options that are that you might be get integrating with Service Desk Plus and Op Manager. And finally, we'll be having a 5 to 10 minutes Q&A session. We have our panelists available. So during the course of this session, you have any questions at any point of time, you can feel free to post it, and our panelist team can answer your questions then and there. All right. So with that, I would like to take you to the introduction part of ManageEngine IT Operation Solutions. So we have various solutions available under ManageEngine. So right from the top, network performance monitoring. So that is Op Manager. So this helps you monitor your network devices like routers, switches, firewalls, and network IP cameras and printers. So basically, any device that has an IP and is available on the internet, that has SNMP enabled, can be monitored by Op Manager. It also helps you monitor your virtual environment like VMware, Citrix XenServer, Hyper-V, and so on. And so it helps you identify the faults in your network, and when something goes wrong, it can help you notify and through email or SMS or through mobile apps. And also it can help you automate to fix these problems with the help of IT workflow automation that we have. So you might be having standard steps to rectify certain issues that occur in your network, and you can create workflows to automate this, so that when something goes wrong, this IT workflow automation can be called and executed, so that what are the steps that you're going to have that in the IT workflow automation can be automated. So it is, once a fault is identified, it's going to automatically execute that workflow and help you fix the problem. So you don't need to wait for an engineer to fix the problem. So for standard for the faults that you have, standard operations to fix the problem can be automated through workflow. And on to my right, next to the network performance monitoring, we have bandwidth and traffic analysis. So this is called net flow analyzer in IT operations management category. So this helps you identify the traffic flow in your network. You can do the bandwidth analysis to understand where your bandwidth is being invested and how it is being utilized in your organization by employees and by your users. So this helps you know the entire conversation about the traffic. So you know where the traffic is coming from, where it's going to, with the help of the source and destination IP addresses. And you can also control this using the uh, ABCs. So you can create policies accordingly, so that if you have any non-business critical applications running that is using much of your bandwidth, you can control that and ensure that you offer maximum of your bandwidth only to the productive applications. And next we have configuration management. So in a network environment, you might also be having a lot of network devices like routers, switches, and firewalls, and it has to go through a lot of configurations in your network. Say you have a new team, you have a new product introduced, so you have new employees added to your organization. So for such things, there are on a daily operations, you might be having a lot of configuration changes that goes to these routers, switches, and firewalls. So you need to have a configuration management tool to keep track of all these things, to take the backup regularly, to understand or to keep track of the startup and running configurations. So when something goes wrong, you must be in a position to understand what is the recent change that's been activated onto this device which is causing the problem, and you have to rectify it. So network configuration manager is the product that can help you do that. And firewall analyzer, it uses the syslogs to analyze the traffic in your network, to identify any security attacks in your network. And you can also identify the usage patterns of the firewall rules that are created. And so you can understand what is the overly used rules, what are the unused rules. So you can optimize the rules on the firewall to improve the performance of the firewall. That's with firewall analyzer software. And you have storage monitoring module that comes under the network performance category. And you can do the IP address and switch port management with opudals that helps you manage the IP addresses in the network and the switch ports. And also you can identify any rogue devices in the network. So if any foreign device that gets connected to your network, and it keeps you notified, and you get to know from which switch the access is being enabled, and you also have an option to block that particular port, so that you can avoid any kind of intrusion in your network. And applications performance monitoring, that helps you keep track of the performance of all your applications like .NET, Java, PHP, and so on. And also you can monitor the performance of the cloud applications. So it helps you to get the in-depth knowledge, or to understand the performance of the application slowness. So when an application is slow, you want to know whether it is because of the network or whether it is because of the application. And when it is because of application, you need to further know what is causing the problem, whether the database query that is being executed that is taking too long, which is causing the problem, or any media files on the web page that is slowing down the performance, or any JavaScript error that is causing down the problem. So you get the in-depth error codes, you get the in-depth sources to know where the problem is exactly, and you can further send it to your application admin to fine-tune the application for improving the performance. So that is all the ID operations products that we have. And so we all have this as one integrated solution in a product called Op Manager Plus. So that is going to be highly benefit for you if you are planning to procure any one of the products. You might be using a standalone product of Op Manager, or you might be using a standalone product of bandwidth traffic analysis, but you might also be having a requirement for IP address and switch port management, or storage monitoring, or for configuration management. Then this Op Manager Plus is the right solution for you. You can give it a try, and if you have any questions, you can contact us, or you can contact our partner 10 Infinity. They can help you with that. So with that, I would like to get into the topic of today's session: take service desk plus beyond boundaries, and be the first to know the IT performance mishaps. So what are the top 3 benefits that you're going to get by integrating your Service Desk Plus on-premises with Op Manager? So any customers who are here using Op Manager and also have Service Desk Plus, but you were not aware of this integration, or but you haven't started to integrate Service Desk Plus with Op Manager. So this is the right time for you and to know what is the benefit that you're going to have by integrating these 2 products. So Op Manager, what it is going to do is help you identify faults in your network, and you can also resolve the problem automatically without any issues. And but what happens? What is lacking here? Why we need to integrate this with the help desk software Service Desk Plus? Simply, so you need to keep track of how many problems that's being created by this particular device, and how long it was taking to fix that problem, and how frequently I'm having issues with this device, with this particular server, whether how many times in a month this problem occurs, whether a same problem keep repeating in a couple of days, or it creates new problem. So you need to have a track of the number of problems that's been raised by that particular asset, right? So Op Manager helps you identify the fault, fix the problem, and but if you wanted to keep track of things, if you wanted to know how many number of problems being created by this particular device in a month, say 6 months before, on February 2021, what kind of problems this particular device, or what kind of problems my servers in Japan had. So these kind of traction can be done, pulled out easily from the help desk software Service Desk Plus, because what it is going to do is, once you integrate Op Manager with this help desk Service Desk Plus, any problem that's being identified by Op Manager can be created as a ticket in Service Desk Plus. So anyway, an administrator who is going to address this problem can be added as a technician in Service Desk Plus as well. So you get to know how many number of problems being created, and you get to know with the IP address of the device, you get to know how many number of problems being totally created by this device, and how many number of problems in a particular month created by this device, and how many problems addressed by this particular engineer, how long does it took to fix the problem, and so on. So you can automate this ticket management by integrating Op Manager and Service Desk Plus. I will show you how to integrate this. So if you do not know how to integrate this and you already have Op Manager and Service Desk Plus, just keep a look at it, and I will give you a quick demo on how to do this. And next, assigning tickets automatically to technician for faster resolution. So not only automating the ticket in Service Desk Plus is going to help you, but it also going to help you reduce the resolution time by automatically assigning it to a technician. So you can do that from Op Manager itself. So you know that these kind of network problem are dealt by this particular network team. Maybe that team has a 3-member team or 2-member team, or even a single administrator who's handling that network problem. All you need to do is you just need to predefine the fields to fill in the category, to fill in the group, to fill in the technician automatically. Once after integrating this Op Manager and Service Desk Plus, when you create a logger ticket profile, so you have to say what kind of problems need to be created as a ticket in Service Desk Plus. And if this particular problem occurs, this is dealt by a network engineer, and it has to be assigned to a network engineer. Normally what happens is, when you have help the system, so any problems being created will be logged in to a pool where it will be in the unassigned pool. It will not be picked up by a technician. There will be a help desk engineer who will assign these tickets to the specific technician who will take care of that problem. So until then, it stays there in the unassigned tickets. But if we know that this particular engineer will be taking care of this problem, we can automate this using Op Manager. I will also show you that benefit. And then the third and most important benefit is syncing assets. So you are taking care of a particular network, and you're dealing with monitoring the assets, and you also deal with monitoring the IT assets and non-IT assets in Service Desk Plus. So what is the benefit that you're going to get here is, in Op Manager, you're kind of going to monitor a lot of servers available in your data centers, and that might not be, you might not be monitoring those IT assets in Service Desk Plus. So generally, you might be monitoring an employee laptops and desktops in Service Desk Plus, but not the network devices like the servers available in data centers. So these kind of assets you might be monitoring in Op Manager for monitoring the health, availability, and monitoring the performance of CPU, memory, disk, and so on. But you also want to keep track of these devices in Service Desk Plus to understand if it has any contract agreement that's going on, that you need to upgrade certain softwares available in the server, you need to upgrade the hardwares available on the servers. So you can manage all the agreements in Service Desk Plus. You get to know what are the number of softwares being installed on that server, how many number of licensed software available, how many number of unlicensed software available. So these kind of things going to help you during the audits. So I'm also going to show you how to do that as well. So first, you have to know how to integrate your Op Manager with Service Desk Plus. So I'm going to show you a quick demo. So it's a very simple process. So this is the Op Manager page, and you go to settings. Here is where you see the global configuration page. And when you go to third-party integrations, you have the third-party integrations page where we integrate this with many other products, not only Service Desk Plus, we integrate with Slack. And if you have a Slack product and you want to integrate that, you can do that as well. And we also integrate this with Jira and so on. So now we are going to learn how to integrate Op Manager with Service Desk Plus. So here, this is the page, and by default, Service Desk Plus is selected. You have to just choose the protocol, and then you need to provide either the server name or the IP address and the web port number. And once that is being provided, you need to provide the technician key. So if you want to know where you can find this technician key, it is available in the Service Desk Plus page. So where you have to get this from Service Desk Plus, let me show you. Yes. So you go to Service Desk Plus, and when you click on the user profile icon, here's where you have an option called Generate API Key. So just click on it and just leave it on never expires and regenerate. You get an API key. You just copy this, and you have to just provide that technician key here. And once you provide that and save the settings, and you're all done. The integration is done. And based on your need, you can just select the ticket settings to create a new ticket. Say you might be having a problem that's being repeated, and say you have a server down alarm that's been created this morning, and in the afternoon you have a separate alarm saying that this particular service is down. So in your organization, what is the protocol that you have when a problem that comes from a specific device, you want to have that created in the same ticket, or you wanted to have an individual ticket created for the different problems. So here you can mention whether you want to create that as a new ticket or you want to reopen the closed ticket. So morning you might be having a problem with the connectivity, so a device down alarm created and a ticket being blocked. And maybe in the afternoon you have a different problem in the same service, but in the same server you have a different problem, but you can mention whether that particular problem can be created as a new ticket, or it has to be opened in the same ticket and get appended as long as it goes. And then the asset settings to sync devices with Service Desk Plus, and sync newly discovered devices in future, and delete devices in SDP. So whatever the options that suits for you, you can select it and save it. Once this is done, the integration is complete. And so now we have enabled a communication between Op Manager and Service Desk Plus, and then how you can tell Op Manager to log a ticket in Service Desk Plus when a problem is identified in Op Manager. So how you can do that, and whether you want to select certain devices, certain problems. I'll show you how to do that. So now the integration is successful. You have to go to settings and click on notification profiles. You have various notification profiles available, and our job now is to create a logger ticket profile. So we already enabled the integration. Otherwise, if the integration is not enabled, or if the integration is not successful, you have an alert here to first configure the integration with Service Desk Plus, and then you have to create a logger ticket profile. So the next thing is to automatically automatically assign a ticket to a group, or so how to simplify this ticket management. So as I was explaining you about the unassigned pool, and it stays there until a help desk engineer assign those tickets to the specific engineer. So here, this is the page that helps you configure to help you choose the fields that you can automatically define here. So when a ticket is logged, it is going to automatically predefine what is the category that you have selected here, and predefine what is the priority of this ticket, and predefine whether it has to assign to a group or whether it has to be assigned to a specific engineer. So here is where you need to select. So all the categories that's been created in Service Desk Plus will be listed here. In case if you don't find it, you just click on refresh. So I select network, and if you have a subcategory, you can select that as well, and an item, and you want to prioritize all your network related problem as high, you can do that. And if you have a team to handle this network problem, you can put it to that network group. Or if you have a technician who looks at this specific problem, you can also create you can also predefine a technician for network problem, so that all the network problem will be assigned to that particular engineer. And next what you can add, or what you determine to see on the title of the ticket. So here by default you have string severity. So what kind of problem it is, what is the severity of this particular problem, and the display name of the device. What else you want to see on the title? You want to see the IP address, or you want to see the ID of the alarm, you want to see the message of the alarm. You can go ahead and select the alarm variables that you prefer to see on the title, and the same way you can do this for description as well. Well, now you have message and the display name of the device, the category, severity, and the start time of this particular problem. And if you want to know more information, you can just go ahead and select whatever the information that you want to add. You can select it. You want to know on which floor, which department this device belong to, on which floor it is available. And you can go on and add those strings, so that when a ticket is logged in Service Desk Plus, it automatically provide these information on the title and the description box. And now is an important section of this notification profile, to choose what kind of problems need to be created as a ticket in Service Desk Plus. Though these devices are being monitored by Op Manager, it is being monitored for the availability, to know whether the device is down or up, and it's being monitored for the hardware problems, it's being monitored for service down, it's been monitored for the traps, it's been monitored for the performance. So whatever that you want to know, or you see this as critical and that need to be created as a ticket in Service Desk Plus, you can just go ahead and select the problems that you want, and you can also notify when an alarm is cleared. So this means that maybe now we have a problem being identified, and in the next poll it goes back to the normal condition. Maybe it was a 7 spike, and you do not want that alarm to be triggered in Service Desk Plus as a ticket, or when it is created as a ticket and when the problem is cleared, you want that particular ticket to be closed automatically. This is the option that you need to choose. Notify when the alarm is cleared, so that when this particular alarm is created and this particular problem is identified, it is created as a ticket, and when it is cleared, it will also automatically close the ticket in Service Desk Plus. And next, you're going to choose to what devices you're going to apply this. So you can choose by devices, or you can go by infrastructure views to select a particular category, whether I want to apply this to servers, routers, or switches, or desktops. And all those devices are going to be listed here. You can select and move it to selected devices column and just click on next. And you want to apply this profile for 24/7 or any specific time window, you can do that. And then finally, you just need to you just need to provide a meaningful name for this notification profile and save it, so that next time when a problem is identified, any problems that's been detected by Op Manager will be available under alarms category. And anytime a problem is detected and matching this notification profile that we have created now will be logged in as a ticket in Service Desk Plus, and you will see those tickets under the request column. And if you predefine the category, predefine the priority, predefine the technician or the group, all those fields will be automatically filled in. And when it is being directly assigned to a technician, you can see the resolution happens much faster, because it doesn't wait in the unassigned pool for a long time for an help desk engineer to get that and assign it to the technician. It's being already assigned, and the technician, as soon as he sees the ticket, is going to work on it and solve that problem. And next we have is the synchronization, asset synchronization. So we already talked about this, why you need to sync devices from Op Manager to SDP, and I'm going to show that. But I'm not sure. We don't have. Okay, I think we have some devices here. So this is the asset section of Service Desk Plus, that it is going to have all the track of all the IT assets and non-IT assets. We go to the IT assets and see what we have here. So you have a device added here, and if you sync Op Manage assets with Service Desk Plus, and whatever the servers or whatever the router switches that you're monitoring in Op Manager will be automatically synced here. And the advantage of syncing the assets from Op Manager to Service Desk Plus is this: you get to know the asset details in Op Manager itself, and you already have the hardware information in Op Manager itself. But the benefit here is you get to know the software being installed on this particular server, and how many licensed software available, how many unlicensed software available, and you can also get to see the relationship, the dependencies. So you can build relationships, you can get this assigned to a specific department, so you know which department this device belongs to. And when you take off any service, or when you take off a service from this particular server, you get to know who are the affected parties, and you can if any regular maintenance going on, you can ensure that you keep the department notified about this maintenance, and then you go about doing it. And you can also add relationship for the parent device or the dependency device and the dependency services that this device holds. So you get to know who are all the affected parties when something goes wrong. And you can also get the contract. So if this particular device are being under any active maintenance contract, you get to know at what time the contract starts and what time it ends. And if it needs to be renewed, you get to know, you get notified about that a month before or a week before or 10 days before. You can configure that. So when you know that, you can go ahead and take precautionary measure to do that. Or if the contract is going to end and you see that this particular device is creating a lot of problem, you keep seeing more problems very frequently, and you want to change this device, you can also take a call on doing that. And next, see, Service Desk Op Manager integrates with Service Desk Plus is what we saw now. And we also have an MSP edition for Managed Service Provider. And both these are available. We also have an MSP version of Op Manager as well as the Managed Service Provider version for Service Desk Plus. And here in Op Manager, we call customers, and where in Service Desk Plus MSP, we call it as account. And here we call it call the particular branch or as probes, and there you call it as sites. And the integration is pretty much same. You go to settings and the third-party integration, and you go to Service Desk Plus again, but here you have to choose Service Desk Plus MSP. The integration is pretty much the same. You need to provide the server IP or the name and the technician key, and you're done. And next, Op Manager also integrates with Service Desk Plus Cloud. So it's pretty much straightforward. You go to settings and third-party integrations, and you have Service Desk Plus Cloud version. And you just need to get the token from the Service Desk Plus website and put it here, so that you can integrate your cloud version of your Service Desk Plus with Op Manager. And next, I'm going to talk about the new feature. This is one of the interesting feature that's been released in Op Manager recently. It's called Adaptive Threshold. In case if you're on the lower version, you might not be seeing this particular feature. It's available in the latest version. You can go ahead and upgrade to get access to this. And if you go to settings and click on monitor settings, this is where you will be able to see it. So what is so special about this feature is generally we were talking about identifying a fault in Op Manager is what Op Manager is going to do. As soon as you add a particular server or a device in Op Manager, it's going to automatically monitor the availability, performance, and so on. But the traditional way of monitoring the performance of a particular device is you go ahead and define a particular threshold value. So it goes beyond 80%, give me an alert. It goes beyond 90%, give me a critical alert. It goes beyond 95% or 85%, give me a trouble alarm. It goes beyond 75, give me an attention alarm. So these are predefined, and Op Manager is going to measure and report a problem only based on that value. And it is not going to analyze any pattern. It is not going to know when this particular device will go on some regular activities like an antivirus scan that happens, and the CPU might shoot up. And as an administrator, you will know that on every Friday evening, the antivirus scan happens and the CPU will shoot up, and any alarms that going to trigger between 5 and 6, I'm going to ignore it, because I know that during this period of manager, the servers are being under antivirus scan and the CPU will shoot up. And during that time, the administrators have a painful job to reconfigure the threshold settings that's been configured for these devices already. And they have to do this manually every time when they go under a process of antivirus scan or a regular activity of backup job and so on. So what is special about this adaptive threshold is it is an ML and AI based feature. So it automatically analyzes the pattern. It has an algorithm to predict or to analyze the pattern and predict the threshold value for your CPU or for your memory or for your disk utilization monitor automatically. So once you enable this, it is going to analyze the pattern for the next 3 days or next 10 days, and then it is going to automatically define the thresholds for you. Say you have a network environment that has thousands of servers and hundreds of network devices. Do you think it is an easy job for an administrator to define thresholds for all these metrics? See, even when you take one device, you might be having 20 plus monitors for which you need to define thresholds for it. And if you're going to do this for thousands of servers and hundreds of devices, you're going to take a couple of weeks time to complete this. And as I said, during a regular activity like a backup or antivirus scan, you need to manually fine tune the thresholds, and it is a painful job. So this ML based feature is going to help you automatically do this job by analyzing the pattern. So if if the system is going to analyze the pattern, it get to know that, okay, every Friday this device has a high CPU during this time, and it is because of an antivirus scan. And every Saturday it is going to show a CPU spike because it is going to have a backup job that's being executed on Saturday. So by analyzing the pattern, it will know that on every Friday evening, the system will shoot up, the system CPU will shoot up, and on Saturday, the system CPU will shoot up because of so and so reason. And it is a normal behavior of the server every Friday and every Saturday. So during that time, it is not going to trigger an alarm for you. It is going to automatically adjust and add the threshold value accordingly because it knows that it is the normal behavior of the server. And similarly, you can also define a deviation percentage. If you know that this device CPU will shoot up to 80 percentage, and then you can have you know that during an antivirus scan it shoots up to 80 percentage, but what if shoots up to 90 percentage during that time? During that time you need to be notified. So that is where you can define a deviation value of 10 percentage or 15 percentage. So though it automatically adjusts the threshold value for it, if it is further go beyond 10% or 15%, you get to be notified about that problem. So you can define deviation value. So this is the ultimate goal of this adaptive threshold feature. It is going to automatically predict the threshold value for you, and with the deviation percentage it can further wait for 10 or 15 percentage as per your configuration. So how it is related to Service Desk Plus here is, before it used to monitor the performance based on a fixed threshold value. Now, when you have this enabled with the adaptive threshold, the ML based adaptive threshold, it is going to have the adaptive thresholds configured, and the same process of creating a ticket will be happening. And the only thing is, it is not monitoring and generating the ticket based on the fixed threshold value. It is based on the predictive ML based predictive threshold value. So this is the only difference, and it is going to help you save a lot of time in configuration and in terms of configuring the threshold value for thousands of your servers. And next, we come to the upcoming features. So we talked about integrating the Op Manager with Service Desk Plus, and we talked about the top 3 benefits, and we talked about the relationship as well, right? So when you have a server asset being synced with Service Desk Plus, what kind of benefits you have? You have the number of softwares, the number of softwares being installed, the licensed software or unlicensed software, the contract period, everything. And we also learned about adding relationship, right? So how from Op Manager we are going to push certain features that we already have to Service Desk Plus. We are going to provide more information to Service Desk Plus through layer 2 mappers parent-child relationship. So we already have a feature called layer 2 topology, the network scan and Op Manager that already has the information about the parent device. When you have a server, you get to know who is the parent device of that particular server. What is the switch and where it is connected? What is the parent device of switch? Where the router is connected, and so on. So we already have this information, the dependency information through layer 2 topology. So we are going to pass on this intelligence to service desk plus. So when this particular asset that's been discovered in Op Manager, when it is synced to service desk plus, it is going to take all the intelligence of knowing the parent device, the dependencies device along with it, and map it in the relationship module. So you get to know it automatically. You get to know the relationship of these devices automatically. And next is also we have VMware based discovery. So that has the information of the host and guest VMs and vCenter and so on. So we already know this hierarchy, and the same intelligence is being passed on to service desk plus in the relationship module. So you're going to know who is the parent device and the vCenter, the host, the number of guest VMs connected to it. All that relationship will be mapped to service desk plus automatically. And next is the integration with the network configuration manager. Since Op Manager Plus already have an integration with multiple modules of IT operations products, and when you log into particular, when these assets are being synced in service desk plus, and when it has certain things to be executed, the network configuration manager already has the credentials, these CLI credentials of the specific device. So it can automatically connect to those devices to execute certain configurations, or to add those devices to downtime scheduler for any change management. Those kind of integrations is also coming up in the future. You can expect all these features to be added in the product in the next couple of months. And if you have any specific requirement to this, if you feel that these kind of features can also be added, which will be much helpful for you as well as for other customers, you can write an email to us, and we can help you. We can also add that to our list and building that for you. And this Op Manager and ManageEngine products has been trusted by 42,000 customers and 1 million IT administrators in the world. And some awards and recognition. We are into Gartner Magic Quadrant, and we have won the 2019 Customer Peer Insights Customer's Choice Award, and we are into the EMA, termed as a value leader in 2018, and we won the awards of Network World in 2021 as well. And these are some of our customers: Minneapolis, City of Lakes in US, and NASA's one of our customers, and Federal Signal, IBM, and so on. And if you are interested to get access to some of our ebooks that are available in our website, you can hit manageengine.com/itom/ebooks.html, and you can get to download the latest topics that we have discussed here on 11 security best practices and the VPN strategy and so on. And for any additional questions, you can write an email to eval-itom@manageengine.com, and we are happy to assist you. And as I said, you can also write an email to our 10 Infinity team for any questions, or if you want any help in enabling this integration with Op Manager and Service Desk Plus, we are happy to help you. Thank you very much for your time once again. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.